Trust is one of the hardest things to gain and easiest things to lose. Find content market fit. It's the same thing as product market fit, a content that fits exactly where it needs to fit inside the market that you're trying to sell to and that it actually sells for you.
A lot of people, they don't understand what is the content ecosystem and how it works.
So I think that's the biggest mistake, thinking each channel and everything is like not interconnected and just trying to do everything, and you just burn out at the end. There's two types of people. The one that says like, fuck knowing about the algorithm. Like, it's like, okay, I mean, it's kind of like saying don't know how to count and then go to like physics. You kind of have to have a bit of the foundation before you do like the bigger thing. And then there's the other people who just go way too crazy on it and they're just trying to like game the game, and they just never end up working because they don't think in psychological terms. Don't just do it. Spend 72 hours researching the people in your industry, people that you admire. Your goal at this moment, learn how to think like your heroes. You don't want to copy them. Like a bad theft, a good theft is going to get inspired by it, remix it, put their own little flavor and stuff. So that's number one tip.
Don't pay attention to views, because your goal is not necessarily go viral with YouTube. Your goal is somebody enters your world, what will they find? Hey Deandra, welcome to this podcast episode. Please introduce yourself so people know who will be today's guest.
Yeah, of course. I mean, thank you for having me. I'll kind of start pretty simple. I am Deandra. I'm founder of Distinctiva. We are basically a content marketing agency. We work with pretty big brands like SEMrush, Backlinko, HeyReach, building what I like to call like content engines. Basically, more than just thinking of like social media and posting or blogging, everything is kind of like building a more holistic approach to it, but in different channels. So we manage LinkedIn, YouTube, newsletters, and basically building everything into a content flywheel that grows within the different types of channels. Have a full agency doing that. Recently started a community because agency, right? Someone has enough budget to pay an agency to do everything for them, but I was finding myself a lot in kind of like that situation where I'd hop on a bunch of calls and give people advice, but the more business you have, the more conferences you speak at, the more clients you get, the more busy you are, and the less you can really like hop on calls and give people insights and all of that. So actually it was my boyfriend's idea. He was like, why don't you just start a community for those that like can't pay a high ticket offer and want to learn about how to grow on LinkedIn, how to use content to build a personal brand. And yeah, that's the second new little adventure I've been hopping on. The more personal side, we can kind of talk about that if you want, but basically just another person posting content online that built a business, has an agency and a community.
Yeah, funny though. So one thing is really interesting. I know that you're very young. Like, how old are you right now, approximately? I know it's not a good question to ask ladies.
It's fine. I'm 25.
25 right now, right? So, and you started very early. I remember like it was like, I know you since like 3 or 4 years approximately, right? You started posting and we got to know each other as well. So how was your journey? Like, how was the starting point where you decided, okay, I'm gonna become a full content engine, and what helped you actually to get started as well?
Yeah, so I'm from Colombia, from Medellin, Colombia. And let's say Colombia is a third world country, right? Like we don't have the same opportunities as someone, let's say, in the US would have, just simply by the fact that our currency isn't strong enough to compete. Like just that little simple factor makes it a bit more complicated to be from somewhere. So I never really wanted to get a job in Colombia because I always knew I was going to be in disadvantage because I was earning in Colombian pesos. And if I ever wanted to travel, go to the US, go to Europe, there was always going to be like that money factor. So what I did was I was in university in Colombia, and I went through like the different exchange that you can do, and my university had a specific like partnership with a university in France. I was like, this is awesome because they had a really good partnership where you didn't have to pay a lot of money like other people usually have to pay when they go to university in the, like, outside of their country, right? Like, it was a really, really good partnership, but you had to be able to be like you had to be, like, chosen, you had to get, like, extra good grades and a lot of stuff. Lucky enough, I've always been pretty nerdy my whole life, so that was never, like, the issue of not being able to get the right amount of points. But obviously the money part was that issue, and when that was kind of, like, solved because it wasn't as expensive, and then I just spoke to my parents, a part my dad helped me, a part my mom helped me, and then I would always work, like, I used to sell, like, chocolates and, like, hair extensions and do eyelash extensions, so I also kind of, like we all kinda, like, combined forces to be able to make this happen, and I went to France, got a double degree there in Strasbourg, and I was, like, determined to not come back to Medellin, Colombia to work and find my internship there. I was like, "I need to stay in Europe, like, I need to find the way," right?
So you're
And,
not long
I
time there
did.
then, approximately, right? Like,
The
how long
sorry?
have you been that? Like, I mean, it was 5 or 6 years ago, right? Something like that?
Yeah, it was fuck, how long was that ago? 5 years ago, I think? Yeah,
Yeah?
5 years ago,
Okay, nice, nice.
and,
Mhm.
I I was in Strasbourg in France, and I wanted to find an internship in Europe as well because I was like, again, I don't wanna go back to Colombia, find an internship there, have a job there, so what I started to do was apply on LinkedIn, send a bunch of messages on LinkedIn and, like, what LinkedIn was, like, used for the most before, like, before it became this whole social media platform. Found my internship there, and then long story short, started learning more about LinkedIn, started posting when I was, like, a seller, so I got a job in sales, I was doing SDR, cold calling, all of that.
Interesting, okay.
Started posting and, moved into an SEO agency where I built the founder's full personal brand, so I was the one ghostwriting. I was the one working with the designer to get the carousels done, to get all those things. Learned by building their personal brands. They're some of the biggest creators on LinkedIn till today. And then started building my own. One thing came to another. You get a first client, you get a second as a freelancer, and you end up with an agency and a community somehow.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Like, you came from actually doing the sales to moving to the content and then becoming a full content agency, right? Okay,
Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah. I
pretty
wasn't the best,
yeah.
to be honest.
Okay, you tried yourself in different fields, of course, and you felt like maybe the content is the right move for you. So far, like, just to get some overview for also viewers, like, how many followers you have? What are the main channels that you currently have that is like helping you?
Yeah, definitely. So, I am at 41K followers in on LinkedIn. I think I'm at like 5,000 followers on YouTube and over 4,000 subscribers like on newsletter. Basically, the channels that we manage at my agency, those are the ones I'm active on the most. Yeah.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, it's very exciting. I know you just started YouTube channel. It's absolutely crushing it. Love that. We're gonna go to more into details of that, of course. But before I do, like, one concept that you told me the last time when we had a conversation about the content ecosystem itself, right? A lot of people, they don't understand what is the content ecosystem and how it works. Maybe you can just explain it in 2 3 sentences. Like, how does it work, the ecosystem itself?
Yeah, so I always like thinking of content in systems, in engines because people try for their company, right? Let's forget Instagram and TikTok on this sense because we are more B2B focused and kind of like more on like how like can companies and B2B companies use content to grow, which usually before wasn't really a thing, right? Like content was for the makeup influencer or the lifestyle influencer. Like content was never really known for like the SaaS platform or the med tech company or the fintech. Like that was never a thing. It was always like SEO, like blogs, SEO. Um, until LinkedIn started rising as a platform for these type of people to find a platform where they can create content and reach the right people. And then YouTube has done a bit of work as well on that sense. And then obviously Twitter, which has always been a bit of like a crazy world. So what I mean by content engines is when you start posting and you're trying to get money out of it, you're trying to actually find an ROI on content, you can probably find yourself in a situation where you're kind of like running on a hamster wheel. Like you're like posting content and it just feels exhausting. And every single day you're spending hours on a single post that doesn't get any numbers, that doesn't do anything. Or you end up, which is even worse, growing like a huge following, but not really making much money on it at all. So like there's so many problems for B2B companies to actually start taking content seriously because they always burn out before actually finding a system. So why I think about content engine and content systems and operations is like it's the way to be able to make content sustainable. So there's a different like things we can go more in depth if you have a few questions on it on like how I think about it, and I also like kind of like making it into an actual flywheel where
Yeah.
LinkedIn is an amazing platform. Like I went from broke 22-year-old to having an agency and traveling the world at 25. Like LinkedIn is amazing. But LinkedIn owns your audience. So if tomorrow you're banned or something happens and you lose your account, there's something even better than that is, like, actually owning your audience, so having emails, having a newsletter where you can reach people directly on an inbox or something like that, and we think in our with our clients and with ourselves to kinda, like, make sure you're building that system where
How do you
LinkedIn is
design
actually
that?
getting you emails.
Yeah, that's a very good
Sorry?
point, Deandra. Like, how do you
Yeah.
design that like content ecosystem or content engine? And I'm sure that it's different for different audiences or different industries as well, right? Like, when it comes to working with one of your clients, let's say, like, let's imagine you work with B2B SaaS or medtech company, it doesn't matter. Like, how do you start the process, and mm, what are the ingredients that help you to make them successful?
Yeah, so what we do is there's a lot of research that goes behind whenever you start a new client because it's a completely different world, right? Like I have now a YouTube channel where I'm literally going 20 minutes talking about all the strategies on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn account where I'm always posting. Like there are so many different strategies and tactics I can tell you. Post this, make your hooks like that, like there's so many little things. But what really matters for us as an agency when we start with a client is the research part. We really need to go really in depth with our strategists, myself, overseeing everything to find kind of like, okay, who are those active players within their industry and what are they doing that actually works? How can we replicate and see kind of like what is that content market fit for that audience? We also have to just see who's that person, who's our client's personality. Like what is their personality? Because not everyone is the same, right? Like we just signed a client where all like he is such a like, strong-worded guy. He'll say "fuck" and "shit" at like, with everything, and there's just some people that they just that's their natural way of speaking, and it just is looks good on them, right? Because it's very natural, and we are very good at actually, like, researching what is working in their industry, find those outliers, then actually knowing who this person is, what is their business, what do they offer, who are their ICPs. So, a big part of that is that full on research foundation part. And then comes the fun parts where you'll find billions of tactics on how to grow on LinkedIn that we know how. So, we kind of like bundle up that expertise, what is actually working, and optimize it in formats that are kind of like given successes and you know that are gonna work on LinkedIn.
What are the typical mistakes people make? Like, I know in terms of the market research is most important. Like, we start our process with when it comes to outbound and sales as well. So we always look typically like big players as well, and then we are looking, okay, who is performing well, what kind of models are working well, and then going into more deeper layers of the company itself too. But when you look at the companies, right? Like, let's say there are lots of companies who are making the mistakes. Like, for example, when it comes to market research, when it comes to posting, when it comes to generally trying to build the marketing strategy. So what are the typical, let's limit it to three or maybe five, like mistakes that you typically see?
Yeah, I think mistake number 1 is just throwing yourself out there. I know just do it thing sounds very romantic and fun, but it never is that fun. Like when you just do it and you fail, you feel absolutely horrible. Like it's not fun at all. So don't just do it. Like spend the first 72 hours researching, consuming content, 'cause I like this phrase and I got someone on TikTok hating on me and, like, saying, like, she's a freaking scammer, like, something insane. I was like, "Boy, come on, chill." But it was because I said a phrase that comes out of a book that's "steal like an artist," right? And he was like, "No wonder they fired her because she stole." I'm like, "That's not what I meant." But steal like an artist basically is just like a framework that nothing is 100% original, right? Like artists in years behind have started new trends because they got inspired by another artist and they kind of created their own twist. Impressionism comes from like realism and something like that, right? Like there's always this kind of like you get inspired by something that's behind you and then you create something new out of it because you know that that's what works and what humans like.
And
So
create
don't
better
just do
version.
it.
Yeah, creating also better
Yeah.
version, right? Like if you I see lots of people just copy pasting literally like exact same thing instead like think like how can I make it better, right?
Definitely. So I think the just do it, no, don't just do it. Spend 72 hours researching the people in your industry, people that you admire, because your goal at this moment when you are just starting out is to learn how to think like your heroes. You don't want to copy them. Like a bad theft will literally just grab something, copy and paste it and post it exactly the same. A good theft is gonna get inspired by it, remix it, put their own little flavor and stuff. So that's number 1 tip, like, don't just start, like, spend a few hours actually researching. Mistake number 2 is not testing out different formats because I like with our clients and with all our community members, what we try to do is find content market fit. So, what content market fit is the same thing as product market fit, as service market fit. Like, you are building a product until that product is so good, it sells itself because it's exactly what the market needed. It fit perfectly inside that product fits it perfectly inside the market. You want your content to do the same. You want content that fits exactly where it needs to fit inside the market that you're trying to sell to and that it actually sells for you. So try different formats, try different ways. You'll find that what works for someone doesn't work for you and find your own content market fit.
So
And
regarding
then
formats,
third is
yes, sorry for
yeah,
interrupting
go
because
ahead.
you will go to third, but before you go, those formats, right? It's a very interesting topic. You actually had also one good YouTube video about that. So what are the top content like formats that are working well on I know YouTube, let's say just YouTube and LinkedIn?
Yeah, so it always changes, right? You might see some of my older videos, in collaboration with, like, Hey Reach, for example, and I would always say, like, carousels, because that was what was working at that moment, like,
Yeah.
you would do a carousel and it would blow up. Carousels now take a lot of effort, and they don't work as well now. So in June 18th, 2026, and this might change in a few months or in a year, single image, so something that represents what you're talking about. It can be a screenshot of something or, a Canva design if you want, like, you don't need nothing crazy with, like, some logos, a picture, like, something that represents what you're trying to say in a single one pager. Those are doing very well. Really well-written text posts with a really strong hook are surprisingly also working really well lately. The 2 other formats that have been really hard lately is carousels. Carousels can perform really well, but you gotta do a lot of effort, and you gotta do a really good carousel for it to perform well, and then video. LinkedIn has been pushing video for, like, the longest. They're like, do it," and they do whole marketing events around it, and they pay influencers to talk about video on LinkedIn, but it's not they haven't been able to crack video on LinkedIn yet. Maybe they will in the future, but for now, like, a single text with an image and text is what's performing the best.
Also, like within those images, I know, like for example, for me, what really performs well is like infographics. Like this is like one of the
Yeah.
top working. Or we do a lot of lead magnets that is generating. I know you're not probably fan of lead magnets because lots of people, especially like when it comes to personal brand, they say like don't make lead magnets, right? But
Yeah.
within those pictures, do you also prefer some of the formats that are also working well?
I don't mind lead magnets, right? I've done them myself and I've gotten my fair hate from people being like, "You're better than this." Like, "Why are you doing it?" Especially the ones where it's like comment, word, and I'll send it to you because I get it. It's annoying. It feels like you're trying to spam someone and, like, engage bait them. I started testing a little bit different with lead magnets now, like, instead of saying, "Comment bananas and I'll send it to you," what I've been doing is just putting the link directly there for them to go into that kinda like actually, I built an app with my boyfriend to be able to do this. If anyone wants to check it out, it is called magnets.so. I really hope
We can
the
put it in the
website is live.
description. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we built now that we're talking about lead magnets, we built magnets.so because we were having the same issue with like lead magnets. Usually what people do is that they'll go on like HubSpot and they'll create a landing page, but then the landing page like kind of looks ugly and then they kind of recollect from there and then they have to push from HubSpot into their beehive. So we built a full workflow so that it's easy for you to just create the resource. You can customize your landing page just like you would do on Canva, like easily design it. Then you can put that link in your LinkedIn post, offer something useful. Like if you're going to create a freaking lead magnet, make it useful. Like because trust is one of the hardest things to gain and easiest things to lose.
True.
Because you can try to, like, engage bait someone to comment bananas and send them something, which I wouldn't recommend again. I've done it before, but LinkedIn can ban you. You can get restriction because you look like you're doing something you're having a spike in activity that you shouldn't be having, so don't recommend it. Have I not doing it? Am I a saint? No, I've done it before. Um, I don't do it anymore because of that reason, but basically, you create something that's extremely useful. You put the link in your post, and you're very explicit about the fact that you built something that is genuinely useful. People will give you their emails if it's something useful. And then you use magnets. It's free actually. It's a free tool. We're not charging anything for it. Maybe in the future it'll become paid, but for now it's completely free.
Right.
And you can just build the whole automation there, collect those emails, and then start nurturing people in newsletters. I absolutely love lead magnets. I
Yeah.
think it's the best way to actually grow an audience and sell something through email.
What about other formats? I know like one is working well is like intro. What was the name? I forgot about it. So
Animated infographics?
infographics, yeah, exactly. And plus also like personal brand pictures. I know like lots of people post their pictures as well, and plus text as well. Like maybe anything else within those formats also like you would say like they are also performing well.
Yeah, so infographics are performing very, very, very good. Especially animated infographics. Lately, there's like this whole little trend of like making that one pager move in some way. So like, yeah, there's a few maybe. If this is edited, you can add it, or people can go onto LinkedIn. They'll probably find one that moves. Then animated one pagers are doing really, really well lately. Single, just like one pager, a static one pager doesn't have to move as well. Pictures of yourself as well does pretty well if it makes sense within the context. I'm not a huge fan of like posting a selfie every single post. Does it work for some people? Maybe yes, but I feel like there's so much more to give away and show than just your nice face. Like, but each person to their own, right? And, yeah, those are working really well. One pagers, animated one pagers, static one pagers, pictures of people. Oh, and like normal like screenshots of something. So screenshot something and put a red arrow on it to actually show what you're trying to say, or like a design on Canva where you talk about Claude, so you put a big logo of Claude because it goes within what you're saying. Like, I think whatever you do, just make it
Pattern interrupt,
hooky.
right? Like, kind of
Yeah,
hooking people, like,
interrupt
with
the
pattern.
pattern.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
and when it comes to, like, designing those hooks or, but, like, let's imagine this way, right? Like, somebody who has no idea about the marketing itself, right? And they come to you and say, like, "Yandra, can you please, design for me the content?" Like, when it comes to designing that, like, what are you thinking about? Like, when it comes to hook and picture or all those elements?
Yeah, like the word you chose to kinda, like, just put there is, like, pattern interrupt, like, what is like, it's hard because social media, sometimes we take it so literally to the bone, and I talk about the algorithm all the time because I think give having educated guesses are the best thing you can do. Understanding how a robot is choosing to put you in front of people is the way platforms work. Like, no one's gonna lie. There's actually an algorithm, it exists, and it works in certain ways. But sometimes there's 2 types of people. The one that says, like, "Fuck knowing about the algorithm," like, it's like, okay, I mean, it's kinda like saying, "Don't know how to count," and then go to, like, physics. Like, you kind of have to have a bit of the foundation before you do, like, the bigger thing. And then there's the other people who just go way too crazy on it, and they're just trying to, like, game the game, and then they just never end up working because they don't think in psychological terms. So basically, just think your user, your client, your audience is scrolling. They are scrolling and there's a lot of posts going on. What would make them stop? Like, that's the only thing you need to think about. Like, what makes them stop the scroll? Reason why a lot of people go a little bit too exaggerated. They do something crazy with the picture or they do something crazy with the hook because that will stop the scroll. Will it build trust? That's another thing. So it's like there's a fine line between stopping the scroll where a human actually decides to be like, okay, I'm going to check this out. And then within the actual meat of the post, when someone actually reads it and everything, it would be I would be, as a user of LinkedIn, be like, "Okay, it was worth stopping my scroll for this person," versus being annoyed, like, "This person just clickbaited me, and now I read the most shitty ass post ever, and okay, bye." Now, one person you lost trust from, and imagine that and if you get a lot of impressions. So, yeah, that's kind of like just think about it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of like Instagram, right? Like you're on Instagram, you're watching, it's watch time, and on LinkedIn, it's like read time, like how long people read your post. Maybe like they come back to your post again, right? Like those things are impacting a lot. And if you're like first, it's pushing like to your audience first, right? Like you have, let's say, 10,000 people, and it slowly pushes to your audience, seeing like, is this interesting or not? And then pushing more and more people, right? So within that context, when you create virality, right? Like we want to go viral on LinkedIn, we want to reach more people, let's say. Then in that case,
Mhm.
you need to create top of funnel, right? Like, so when it comes to creating the top of funnel content, right? So how do you design the top of funnel content? So which means like, let's say they're selecting the topics, right? Or let's say selecting the hooks and how to make it really top of funnel. This is my
Mhm.
biggest challenge, by the way. At the moment. Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Yes.
Um, yes. So I like dividing my content funnels for myself, for our clients, for our community members. My whole boot camp goes through it more in depth, but I think of it as growth as like top of funnel, authority as middle of funnel, and then conversion and personal as bottom of funnel. So basically what this means is because tofu, mofu, bofu is just like I just find it hard to understand, right? Like I'm like, what tofu, the tofu you eat, but like it doesn't really make sense. Like, and we've heard about it our whole life in marketing, but I think when you think it more in this way of like growth is posts that will make you literally like grow in numbers. Like it will have a bit more appeal to more people within your bucket of audience, right? Like doesn't really make a lot of sense for someone that talks about one topic to go, let's say, for someone that talks about social media to always talk about AI because it is that growth post that can get them viral. But once in a while, a growth post about AI is fine because AI, we're all living an AI world. Like I talk about social media, talk about LinkedIn, but I use AI. I am teaching people how to use AI in the right way to build social media. So once in a while I can talk about AI in my growth post, which will have a bit more of a broader appeal for more people because we're all living through an AI world. So I think how do you think about growth posts is what is that thing that can capture in finance there's this term called total addressable market, kind of like translate it to total addressable like audience, total addressable content. Like how can I capture as much people within that little bubble to be interested in what I'm saying and to come and check my profile. So there are things like I have 5 different formats within the growth bucket that I like doing because they just naturally give more of a broad appeal. One is newsjacking. So relevant news within your industry will interest everyone and anyone, especially if you're just starting out because a big LinkedIn creator can get away with posting something about themselves and it will do really well because people just like that person. They've already built a community. Like people know this face, but they don't know you. Like why would they care about you? But they will care about a news that can affect their industry. And if you come with like a super unique take on that news, they will pay attention to your post. They will start recognizing you more. Shout out to like my boyfriend. We've been building his strategy for a while now. He's at Cam True on LinkedIn. He's like blowing up like a million impressions a month. Like his posts hit like 200K, and he has less followers than I do. Like he just hit 20K followers. So best thing about this is like anyone can do it now. You don't have to have a lot of followers because of the new algorithm change. So newsjacking is one. He's in the AI space, of course. You have to know that AI just has a more broader appeal. Plus, he's doing all the tactics that we're helping him with. Newsjacking is one. Name jacking. So you can also borrow credibility from a big person that people already care about. Stephen Bartlett, for example, we did a post about Stephen Bartlett and something that connected with our client because you still have to connect it to your world or else you just become like a journal. So we connected something that Stephen Bartlett did that connects to our client's core business. Stephen Bartlett commented on that post, which made it blow up even more. They see Stephen Bartlett's face, they recognize his face, and people will interact more with it, even if they don't give an F about who you are. So, newsjacking, people care about news. Jack on that. Name jacking as well. They care about certain people. Brand jacking, they care about certain brands as well. We had a client in the ads space, and again, who cares about you? Like that's the mindset you have to have. No one gives a F of
Yeah.
who you are when you're starting out, so you have to find ways to actually get people to care. So he has like an ads tool. What we did is we grabbed like really strong ads that were performing really well and kind of like broke them down in a smart way, which makes him sound smart and not just become again like a journal talking about stuff. And then, there's newsjacking, namejacking, brandjacking. There's actually 5. Hot takes. So being, like, strong in what you're saying and have something that someone would say would actually be like, "Oh my god, finally someone said it." Like, the strong words, hot takes within your industries do very well as well because they show emotion and they also connect with people that if less than 10% don't agree with you, then you're being a little bit too fluffy and vanilla because we're humans and we all have different thoughts, so, like, why wouldn't you have a different thought than someone else? Hot takes do very well, and then the last one I've just added into my little growth stack is trend writing. So when you see a trend same thing as Instagram and TikTok, right? Like there's like trends that people like hop on and then they also go viral because they hopped on a trend that at the end of the day in psychology it's just the fact that you recognize something. So if you see something that's similar, it feels more like you can give it your time and your trust because you already kind of know what it's about and it feels less like foreign and scary or stranger to you. Things like the animated one pagers, they're trending a lot. So if you hop on that trend and do one, maybe you'll be able to get a lot of numbers. So those are my 5 like growth types within that funnel.
Yeah. One thing is also like I would like to add, like when I look, for example, from the content perspective, right? Like I always look like who I'm creating for. and what this ideal client profile or ideal watcher, let's say, that I am targeting, what they want, like what kind of problems they have, right? Like what I'm going to give them, like tips that will make them think, okay, like this is interesting, let me follow this person because there is a benefit for me and maybe for the future as well, right? So like when it comes to those topics itself and designing those topics, are you looking more for like breaking the beliefs topic, for example, or are you looking more for comparison, like all the way new way, or are you looking more for, I don't know, any kind of other topics that are like broad appeal? Like when it comes to that kind of profile, like what are the things that you are paying attention to more?
I think it depends, right? So we'll have clients on completely different industries. So again, going back to the first mistake people do is the research part. So they don't really understand what is working in their industry, what's working well, what's performing well. So we'll make sure to do that research first, and then we'll see what people are actually resonating with, and then bring in one of the formats that I mentioned to kind of connect them. And there's so many ways, like the old versus new, there's yeah, there's a ton, but first comes from, like, actual research to be able to find what is resonating within the ICP like you mentioned.
Gotcha. Okay. And what is the third one then? Like, I mean, we said two, right? Like, first was the research, the second one was formats, you said, and the third
Like
one,
experimenting,
yeah,
yeah,
experimenting. Yes, that's right.
yeah. The third one is engagement. Actually, like, engaging with other people in your industry, with other creators, with your ICP, just, like, building connections. There was a thing there was I don't know if, like, people if you've been on LinkedIn enough like I've been since the start, there was something people would say, I would say it as well, which was, like, warming up the algorithm. So you had to warm up the algorithm by commenting on posts before, 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after. I'm like, what is warming up? What are you warming up? Like, I don't know why we said that. Like, maybe before with the old algorithm, it made sense. It's still not because you're warming up the algorithm. It was just because there was a lot of, like, engagement pods, and a lot of people were it was like a very closed circle, so it was like, if you were one of the people within LinkedIn that knew that you were on LinkedIn, I will support you and you support me, so in the first hour, we go and we comment on your post, and it would blow up because it was really easy to game the algorithm with just, like, velocity, so if you got, like, 10, 15 people within your, like, little bubble LinkedIn bubble team, commenting on your post, it would just automatically blow up because it would show it to their network. Anyways, so we've moved a little bit more into like the interest-based type of content, so that doesn't work anymore. But with engagement, I don't mean warming up the algorithm in any sense. What I mean is a simple effect, which is the reciprocity effect. I support you, you support me because I know who you are, because I like you. Like that's just how the world works, right? And sometimes a lot of people get a little bit too like crazy with the engagement, thinking that it's going to make their post blow up just because they're engaging. What engagement works with is that you build a connection with another human being that's going to be willing to support you back, and that is going to want to maybe invite you to a conference one day, um, invite you to speak at a podcast that someone listens and becomes a client. Like, there's so much more than just, like, the algorithm side of things, there's the actual human side of things, so that's the 3rd,
Yeah, of course.
mistake.
Like lots of people also like when they comment, they just like see it from the perspective like I will comment because I want more reach, right? Which is like I agree, like you need to just build the relationships also not only just for your content system itself, right? It can be also like you build a relationship with another guy or girl, somebody, right? And that person can refer you somebody as well. So from that perspective, like this helps a lot also with engaging the content because you're on top of mind of other people as well. They think about you, for example, right? Like you are more into content space, and if you're commenting on my post, and at the same time today I might forget about you, right? But today you commented on my post, and somebody asked me, "Hey, do you know anybody who can help me with content?" You will come first. And that's that factor also lots of people like, always forget about, or they're not thinking even like that deeper level, but this happens a lot, This happens to me as well. Sometimes I write somebody like a WhatsApp message, after 2 days they say like, actually I have a client for you. So that's why that's a good point. I really like it. So when it comes to next, right? Like I saw one growth hack that you're doing at the like I mean last couple months is like how do you leverage the LinkedIn into your YouTube channel because you just started with the YouTube channel, right? It was completely new channel and you started and it's getting very good traction as well. So what is your strategy for YouTube at the moment?
So my strategy for YouTube was never try to push people from LinkedIn to YouTube because I did a bit of I mean, my agency does YouTube services. So we do this for other clients and we've done it before for other clients. So we kind of know how it works. And there's one thing that can happen that isn't too good, which is if you try to push someone from a short attention span a channel into a longer form attention span, what can happen is that it actually affects your reach because YouTube likes like watch time, right? Like they like that someone stayed for as long as possible, and then they also like CTR, so they like that you're actually like clicking on the thumbnail. So thumbnail, title, and then actually getting people to stay as long is kind of like that golden triangle of YouTube. So I never like when I posted for the first time on YouTube, I didn't say anything on LinkedIn. Like I didn't post on LinkedIn saying like go to my YouTube channel. I just launched a YouTube channel until a few weeks after that post had already found its own little audience, that YouTube had already done its own work and had tried to find an audience for it, that SEO had done its work. Then after a few weeks that the post was already doing organically its own because I'm an organic content girl, like, we think more in, like, organic. I've never done ads, never done sales, like, none of that. It's all organic content. So, we tried to, like, make it work organically, and it did really, really well, and then I promoted. Then I told my actual audience and my community, like, "Hey, I launched a YouTube video. Actually, this is my first YouTube video if you guys wanna go check it out," and then they would probably go and subscribe and this, but I didn't want to, like, show YouTube the wrong numbers by trying to send someone that is trying to go fast scrolling mode to trying to watch a 10-minute video because they would probably bounce off in the first seconds of the video anyways. So, yeah.
I see. Okay, that's interesting perspective because I thought maybe like you are getting people into YouTube as well. I see lots of people do that by the way. They say like comment and then they send the YouTube video itself
Mhm.
directing them to the YouTube channel. Good perspective. Like I know from Instagram as well like when you're watching short video, like never put the actual video but actually put the picture and say go to my YouTube and find the video and then there is a likelihood that they will watch more, right? So
Yeah.
that's a good point. But when it comes to YouTube itself, right? Like when it comes to, I know the thumbnails are playing a huge role. Um, Also the watch time of the YouTube. These are the two I think most important. I might be wrong. You correct me. Most important KPIs for YouTube. So when it comes to with your agency, when you help somebody, right? Like how do you design those as well? I know, like in terms of um, the thumbnail itself, or in terms of the ideation of the YouTube.
Yeah, so, like I mentioned before, like, there's this, like, golden triangle for YouTube that basically is title, thumbnail, and then on the other corner of the triangle, it is, like, actual watch time. Basically, if you nail those 3 things, you've nailed YouTube. That's it, right? What does the title and the thumbnail do? They get more clicks. They get someone interested. Same concept as the hook and the image on your LinkedIn post. That's what's gonna make someone stop to scroll, click see more, read your posts, and have dwell time on the post so that it performs well. Same thing on YouTube. Your thumbnail and your title are going to make someone stop the scroll, click, and watch the video. The third little like corner of that triangle is the actual watch time. So, how can I make sure that my title and my thumbnail actually deliver what this person was expecting so they stay the longest possible? How do I use retention tactics in my script, in my animation, in my delivery to make sure that someone stays for the longest possible? Those are the 3 things. How you do it same thing as I mentioned on LinkedIn, you go in, you research, you find those outliers, you build upon those outliers, you understand what your audience wants, and then you create something that's actually valuable. So again, LinkedIn, click, you got there that to stop the scroll, but they didn't dwell on it because they were like, "Ugh, this person just, like, clickbaited me," or you lose their trust, and then when they see a second post of you, they're gonna be like, "Nah." Same thing on YouTube, like, stop the scroll with a strong thumbnail and title, play the SEO game. There's also SEO tactics within your title, so if someone is searching how to grow on LinkedIn, my post is literally my first YouTube video was, like, how to grow on LinkedIn in 2026, like, and I still get so many views out of it because, like, literally that's what they search and that's what appears. So get that click and then build the trust and maintain that retention as much as you can with the actual video.
How do you make people care? Like, let's say you're just starting out in YouTube, you have not many followers, etc., right? Like, I don't mean you, but somebody. And how do you make people think like, actually, this person knows a lot. I believe that person.
So there's a few like loop openers, retention tactics and stuff. I myself, like we do this for clients, but I myself as like a new YouTuber out there, I don't have that many posts. I'm also learning these things. Like it's not easy. I get a ton of hate sometimes. They're like, she talks so slow. Like I'm like, I'm trying, okay? And they're like, but I bought I got a guy that said like, I bought YouTube Premium just to be able to watch your video. I'm like, okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
I saw
At
that
least
as
you
well.
saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so, like, there's people that are rude AF, but I'm still learning, right? I'm not the YouTube expert in terms of, like, the scripting and the writing. My team is absolutely amazing with thumbnails. Like, they kill it with the thumbnails and titles and SEO and description and video editing. Like, I even got someone saying, like, "Girl, I don't understand anything you do, but you have an amazing editor." I'm like, "Oh." God, my heart. So maybe it's all because of my team and I'm just, absolute shit at speaking, but what I've been trying to learn and what we've done for our clients and helping them is, like, there's a lot of retention tactics where you have to, like, in the hook, be very explicit of what the video is going to be about in a lot of senses, like if I started on LinkedIn from scratch, this is what I would do. Like the hook knows that I'm gonna teach someone how to grow on LinkedIn from scratch, and then I start going. While you're during the script and like in different little sections of the script, open some loop openers where you kind of like anticipate what's coming next so they don't leave. So for example, like this is just one part of the strategy. Number 3 is where you actually start get like, that tells someone like, "Okay, I'm gonna wait till number 3." These are all tactics. They're based on psychology. They're based on retention. What you have to do is actually deliver on it, right? Like, you can tell someone, wait till number 5 and I'll show you the biggest thing in the world," and then they get to number 5 and they hate you even more. Like, right? So, those are tactics, you just have to know how to actually deliver on them.
Yeah, I know one thing is like it's like Netflix effect, right? Like the next series is coming and you can't sleep and you want to watch it, which is a very good point. And would you say like public speaking skills are also important, like when it comes to YouTube?
Definitely, right? Because you can't hide behind an AI tool helping you write your LinkedIn post or your tweet. You can't hide behind a little profile picture. I think YouTube is very intimidating. It's hard. It's not easy at all. It's really weird to speak to a camera. Like I didn't know how weird it was. Like I genuinely think I'm so much better at I think even this type of things I'm not good at. Like I'm looking at you on a thing, but I know the camera's staring at me, but then I see myself. Like, why would I wanna see myself? Because now I'm thinking like, "Oh, the lighting looks weird." It just, like, gets my brain a little bit, like, too, not focused and present in what I am talking today, so I absolutely love public speaking because, like, I'm not seeing myself, I'm not seeing a camera, I'm just seeing a human in front of me, how they're reacting, and then I can just react based on that, so I think it's so unnatural for humans to speak to a camera, and it's so hard, like,
Yeah.
even my public speaking strategies, tactics, and I genuinely think I'm really good at public speaking, but when you have that camera in front of you or a script or something, it's a completely different thing, but it does help, right? You just have to learn how to, and I'm trying to get better at it. I'm telling you, people still hate on me all the time 'cause
This
I'm
this
too
happens
slow.
to me as well, like, happened to me, like, when I started, like, 3 years ago approximately, like, building the content, I was, like, always like, "Why am I watching to the camera? Like, no one sees me, and I'm talking just to camera." It's, like, kind of stupid, right? Like, looking at the camera and talking in a way that you feel like lots of people watching me, right?
Yeah,
It's so strange, the light is coming
so
to my
weird.
face, and I feel, like, exhausted of this, like, just talking to camera, same script, and until it will be perfect, right? And that was, like, a biggest challenge, for me. But it's really like doing the thing. Like you do it many times. And one thing changed my perspective, by the way, is that like when I put the video, I expect like, okay, no one will care about this video. But then I slowly started seeing people say like, oh, your video is amazing. Like I liked it, specifically did that point. I say, all right, then I need to put more effort into this, because I was
Yeah,
thinking, no one watches it. I'm just gonna put the videos. And then I started seeing people behind the camera, like imagining myself that 100 people watching me and I'm just talking to them because they will watch me actually, right? So that
yeah.
changed my perspective. One thing is really interesting for me, Deandra, when it comes to like content itself, right? Like how many hours do you invest in a week? You create mostly like on LinkedIn and YouTube, right?
Yeah, so I also have a newsletter. I
And
actually wrote
newsletter as well. Yeah. But you
yeah, I
create
wrote
one
an
one newsletter in a week or so, right? Or is it like also daily?
no, once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week.
Okay.
I created a newsletter issue. If anyone wants to check it out, it's deandraescobar.com. And in that newsletter issue, it's called How I Run 3 Channels Without Losing My Mind. I basically ran through exactly how I do it. I'm gonna scroll here because I kind of put the exact numbers just to be able to show you exactly how much it takes me because I actually went in and, like, analyzed the whole thing. So,
Interesting.
basically, what I said here is, usually it takes me 1 or 2 hours to script a YouTube video. So, I like thinking again in systems, in operations, in flywheels, or else you will go freaking insane. This is a lot. Like, recording yourself every week to a strange ass camera staring at you, writing on a blank page trying to like these things are not natural for the human brain, so they're freaking hard. It's not easy. So you have to find systems around it that allow you to be able to have what I call a deep space to think. Like you literally need a space that you can think out of the box and give someone something insightful that they've never heard before, or else you're just gonna start regurgitating everything everyone else has said. So I like protecting those deep spaces to think, and lately where I've been doing it is in my either writing my newsletter or writing my script. I kind of like in depends if I'm traveling, for example, here where I don't really have a good setup and it's hard for me to do a YouTube video, maybe I'll start my newsletter first. But either or of those long form formats, I'll spend a lot of time writing to be able to have that deep space to think of something good. Like, I did a full-on research about the algorithm. I bothered my engineer boyfriend like insane. I went made him go fucking insane being like, "Am I thinking about this right? But this and look at this and look at the embedding and blah 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 blah." And I also read the whole blog and I went so in depth, but out of that I have so many different pieces of content. I have 2 YouTube videos. I've had over like 10 posts about it. I have like 2 newsletter issues. Like people like with some bigger creators than me, like 3 times my size have reached out saying like, "Oh my god, your algorithm um like breakdown is the best thing I've ever seen." Like I've never seen anyone break it down like that. Why? Not because I'm some freaking genius and I just grabbed the camera and recorded. It was because I spent hours on that research to understand it to be able to get the other thing. So, what you should be spending most of your time is in that deep space to think. So, around 2 hours of scripting, of researching, of all of that, if it's not a huge topic like the algorithm one took me forever. But if it's like something a little bit less in depth and engineer focused and very hard for a non-technical girl to understand, then around like 2 hours on that deep space to think, on the scripting, then like 30 minutes reviewing the script the next day because I like breathing room before I actually go and see the final pass and edit it and proofread it. Then 1 hour recording. Sometimes it'll take less, but I like to say like give myself at least an hour. So you can see that a huge chunk there, already like 2 hours, 2 hours and a half are on one single channel, which is YouTube. But what happens after that? LinkedIn post will take me only like 30 minutes. The whole newsletter issue will also just take me like 30 minutes because I've already done the hard work here. So in total, I think it takes me like 4 to 6 hours of deep work for a whole week's content. It can depend, right? It can be more if it's a big research that I'm doing versus it's something that I already have in my head and I don't really have to think about a lot. But around that is what I see in a week.
I see, I see. Very interesting. Like when it comes to ideation part, so you start with the YouTube and you understand actually topic, right? Like not just asking ChatGPT to create something similar, which most people do, and then actually understanding what you're talking about, and then recreating different kind of like content pieces from there, right?
Definitely. Yeah, that's exactly how I do it, and that's what I call the content flywheel. So it just starts moving faster and faster and faster as momentum goes because you've been able to interconnect it versus it just like being a one and done thing.
I see, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's super insightful. So when it comes to let's say this content flywheel, you created it. Like when you see like people that making mistakes, right? What are the typical mistakes beyond like like just asking ChatGPT? I see what a lot. Like you just literally can read that this is a ChatGPT script, right?
Yeah.
What else you see that like when you think like this is a huge mistake. I would never make it.
Yeah, I think big mistake is that of thinking you need to create net new content for every single channel. Like one completely different whole topic on YouTube and then go and rethink something completely different for the same day on LinkedIn and then something completely different on newsletter. Like there's something super powerful behind coining certain things as well. Like people recognize me for my authority paradox framework. I talk a lot about it because of my content like funnel where I go growth, authority, conversion, and personal. Now people are recognizing me because of the algorithm breakdown I did, which I didn't intend to be known for it. I just really wanted to understand it and create a content around it. But like you need to repeat yourself. Like, people sometimes forget how much you need to repeat yourself so someone can remember that. Like, people have a baby crying, their wife is pissed at them, like, they have stuff going on. Like, they're not thinking about you 24/7. They'll see you once, and then maybe they'll brain completely forget it. So, there's a lot of repetition that needs to be that needs to happen in content to be able to bring that brand awareness and to be recognized for something. So I think that's the biggest mistake, like, just thinking each channel and everything is, like, not interconnected and just trying to do everything, and you just burn out at the end.
I know one concept in branding specifically, like you have one thing that you're talking about, but from so many different angles until people start
Mhm.
like thinking about you, not without repeating yourself, of course. Instead, like what most people do is like, I'm gonna talk about like 100 different things, and then you are like kind of not recognized for something one. Like those big brands, like Adidas or I don't know which any big brands in the world, right? Like I see the same pattern they are following as well. So, what is your strategy when it comes to talking about one topic, but from different angles? And how do you find those angles and engineer that entire content system?
Yeah, so if you think about, the amount of formats that exist on one single social media platform like LinkedIn, just from there, you'll be able to probably get 5 different type of content pieces. A video, a one pager, text only, a carousel, multiple pictures that so it turns into a collage. Like just there, you have 5 different formats where you can say the same thing, quote unquote. You're not saying you're not copying and pasting the thing, right? Like what we're saying is like that concept, that idea. You're bringing it into different formats. So formats is one, and then wording is another, right? Like I can say the same thing in different words, and it might connect more with someone the way I said it here, it might connect with someone more the how I said it here. So formats, just like the wording, and then playing around, right? Like playing around with like hooks, for example. Like there's so many different hook formats. I also did a YouTube video on that. So like there's like hooks that are a bit more dense. So you put more text on it versus like a lot of text space text. So, yeah, I think, formats, the wording, and then, like, the hooks are things you can always play around with.
Also looking at the different perspective, right? Like, for example, I wrote a book, Systemized Growth, which is like behind me. Like in that book, like I'm trying to always talk about that book in a different angles. One time I'm speaking about, for example, okay, how you can systemize the business and what kind of benefit it has. One is like you free up your time, right? You buy back your time literally. The second thing is, okay, this systematization can help you to grow your business, which is second angle. The third angle I'm thinking about, like, okay, if you systemize your business, it means you can scale it faster, which is another angle, right? Like, for example, like these are the typical like different angles, but one thing is challenging me, like how can I find 100 angles or 1,000 angles, like which is like format I can understand. But how can you speak about one exact same thing in 1,000 different ways, which I see most of the like successful content creators do as well. Like I know
Yeah.
it might be a bit complicated question. It's might be a hard question maybe, like, but in
Ye
general.
y Yeah, I think if anyone here has, like, a son or a daughter, right? Like, there are certain things you want that kid to learn or to do or to understand, and you kind of, like or when you have, like, a teenager that just doesn't wanna eat their broccoli, right, or, like, something, you go through one way and you say it nicely, and then you're like, "Okay, I didn't really get it." Then you go and you find, like, "Okay, maybe if I, like, start from here and then turn my way around, and then I'll finally get into his head." Like, just think about it kind of, like, normally, right? Like, we can say things in so many different ways and find different angles to be able to repeat it. Um yeah, that's kinda like the best example I
Yeah,
can give.
good example. Actually, in teaching as well, I know from coaching, like when I coach somebody, I see like person is not getting it. I try to explain in their world. Maybe it's a
Yeah,
good perspective too, because like if we think from the ICP perspective, right? Like who I wrote this for, let's say from the example of
yeah.
the book, right? I can think about, okay, what is the world of this person that I can, talk about in his language or her language that it will also, land, right? So yeah, good perspective. Like one thing in terms of like planning the content itself, I know lots of people they don't plan, just randomly posting. I do it sometimes as well, by the way. I just want to post and I just post. But how is your in your case? Like, are you planning, like actually sitting, like when you feel like okay, I can create a good content. I am in creative flow. You sit and create
Mhm.
for the whole week, or is it more like random?
Mm, I've done both, right? I've had weeks where it's like the day before I'm writing my post and I'm scheduling for the next day. I've had weeks where I've batched them weekly for our clients. Most of everything is batched weekly, unless there's, like, a news outbreak that's something that we can, like, move fast, quick, and post about tomorrow to be able to capture that attention, like newsjacking and all of this type of stuff that I already mentioned in the growth bucket. But more than deciding if you post the day like, if you create your post the day after you post it or you batch it, it's how and where based on my energy, creative flow, and availability this week of things that I have to do, and, like, will I get to the day the night before being like, "I'm too tired. I don't wanna write this post. I'm just gonna go to bed." Because if you feel like that's gonna happen, then don't do it the day before because you're gonna half-ass it, you're gonna just do whatever, and then it's not gonna perform, or you're just simply just gonna be like you get to the point where now you have to write your post and you're like, I'm done. I'm gonna go to sleep." Um but if you feel like, "Actually, the day before, because it's so new, because I know it's for tomorrow, I'm gonna spend a lot of time," versus if I try to batch 10 posts by the time I get to sorry, not 10 posts, say 5. I wouldn't batch 10, 10 is too much, but, like, I'm on Sunday, and I'm gonna batch my 5 posts of the week. If you feel like you're gonna do 5 posts at one sitting, and you're gonna get to post number 3, and you're gonna start feeling that energy drop, and you're not gonna put that much effort into those last posts, then don't do that as well. So my advice is a bit more context driven. It's like, where do you think and how do you think in your context, your life, your system, your strategy, your day to day, you're going to have that most peak of energy, like that peak of energy to be able to do things with the most effort you can. That depends, right? Like, 'cause I like sometimes batching because, like, I'm on a Sunday, I'm on a roll, I got it, like, I got my 5 posts, I think they're very good, then I kind of have a little bit of time during the week to reread them if there's something. Sometimes I'm like, "This weekend, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna travel, I'm gonna do my stuff. I'm just gonna post, the day before." So, more on the energy side, I think the answer is.
I get it. Okay, that's interesting. So let's say there are lots of people, right? Like who are entrepreneurs. I work also with lots of them. So they are very busy. Like when it comes to putting the content, creating the content, like they have crazy schedule as well, right? Like how do you manage that? Because this is like it's you can invest like 1 hour, but some people like don't take it also seriously. They think like content is not important, right? Like how is your perspective on that, and how to actually find the time and allocate the time and not make it like a hustle, right? Like just actually enjoying that.
Yeah. Yeah, one, it's, writing about something you actually do want to write about and research and learn more about because you can feel it. You can tell when someone is more passionate about something, when they say things in words that just connect with you because there's emotion behind it, there's excitement, there's interest, like that's one thing, right? And I went through this with with my boyfriend, for example, same the whole, like, going blowing up and all of this has also happened because of that concept. I kind of, like, told him, like, "Write about things you're actually really interested in and you're good at," because what he was trying to he's a engineer, tech nerd, he knows he's too deep into AI, into tech, to start writing posts about, like, how to prompt AI right? Or like how to create presentations with AI. Like he kind of thought that that's what he had to do because that's what other people were doing really well. And what will happen is maybe you'll start doing that at the beginning, you'll do well, but then you'll kind of like hate your life in a few months because you're writing about something you don't really enjoy, you don't feel passionate about, and you might even do better this other way versus doing this other way. So now he talks about like a lot more complicated concepts, but he doesn't make it complicated for the reader because that's
Easy
important, right?
language.
Like he does easy language, he simplifies it, but it still is a core topic and concept that he cares about. So one thing was like about like people are saying SaaS is dead, and he did a full analysis of like actually AI, things that are built with AI are basically just like a SaaS because people are like building things on top. Like very like I didn't understand what he was saying when he was like actually like
Mhm.
trying to simplify it, but when he simplified it in the post, it made so much sense. It was so cool and so many people resonated with it, but because he started from something I actually cared for, simplified it and made it good versus just trying to do the dumb it's not dumb, right? But, like, dumb it down for, like, what he knew, easy route, what he thinks works. So, probably, how to not hate it and do it in the hustle, do something you actually enjoy so you can put the energy to it. Pay an agency like mine if you genuinely just don't like it, and you'll have someone that because what they'll ask us a lot in our agency is, like, "How are you gonna make it sound like me? How are you gonna make it sound like this?" Is like, more than, like, all our tactics and optimization and this and that is just, like, we genuinely just care. Like, we care, so we put a lot of effort in every single post that goes out. So, like, 1, you care, 2, outsource to someone that will care, and 3, build systems around it that may make it sustainable for you. Same thing with the energy spikes. Maybe during the week, it's just way too freaking hectic and I just can't find time. Then I'm gonna find a few hours on Sunday to, like, actually spend time with the content to post it.
Good perspective. So when it comes to people like that I'm working on as well, I know lots of entrepreneurs watching it. They just hate creating the content because it's maybe like not their strengths, or maybe they just feel embarrassed like putting themselves out or their ideas, right? Like when it comes to that right mindset about the content itself, like what would you change if you look at those people who, for example, like following that path, which is like preventing them from so much more revenue, right? Or so much more reach, and that they need to change it today and actually being motivated to create the content instead of like being stuck at, I kind of need to create, but I don't want to, right?
Yeah. There's 2 ways around it, right? One is just the fact that the best offer doesn't win, the most visible one does. Like, that is just life, right? If you are not visible, if you're not capturing the right eyeballs, if you are not seen, you could build the cure of cancer, right? And if no one knows about it and you're not showcasing it, you're not going out there, no one is gonna buy it, no one is gonna care because they cannot literally see it. Like, it doesn't exist in their world. So, one is like you said, you're gonna make less money. Like, you're not visible, and the other person that maybe has a worse offer than you have is going to win. So maybe think it in terms of, like, you're gonna make more money, and then maybe that will motivate you somehow. Um, and then 2 is create, again, content that you'll enjoy reading, that you'll enjoy researching about, that you'll enjoy talking about. I swear to God, there is something that gets you a little bit more hyped in a conference, in a call with someone, in a meeting with your team. There's something you nerd out about. There has to be. If not, I don't know, maybe you chose the wrong career, you're building something you hate, and then that's a whole other issue that I can't solve for you. But, like, there is something that genuinely excites you, then maybe hone in on that and create content around those things that will and if you're building something to solve a problem, you should be passionate about it because you're solving a problem you know people have, so you'll wanna create content around it. Those are my 2
Yeah,
pieces of,
that's a good point.
advice.
Actually, one thing I do a lot, um, like I have a call, for example, with the client and they ask me a question and then I say, can you just wait a second? And just I write it down in my bank. Like I have a bank of topics for YouTube or, generally for content. And just I write it down
Yeah.
that question quickly that I know when it comes to content, when I think like, should I write about? Right. Like I never asked ChatGPT. I'm just like in those moments, I'm just grabbing that. It's very good point, by the way. Like just grabbing that and thinking like, oh, this could be a good YouTube video. This could be a good LinkedIn post and just writing it down, and I have maybe like 3,000 right now. Like really, I cannot even catch up with that because every day I'm getting
Yeah.
so many new ideas. Even when you go for a walk, you like sometimes you're thinking about the topics that are on your mind as well, and what kind of challenges people have. That okay, what could be the solution? You found it, and just write it down as well. It's very helpful. So when it comes to you yourself, like what are the main things that are challenging you in terms of like content creation itself? Like what is like the thing that you're also looking to get to, like a next step, just out of curiosity?
YouTube.
YouTube, okay, pushing more YouTube, all right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube, but not only, like, because the thing is, even me as a content expert, even me with an agency that does this, that has nailed it for so many other clients, some of the biggest people out there, some of the biggest companies out there, I have my own struggles as a human, like, that's just what it is, right? And one of my biggest struggles right now is with velocity in the YouTube video because I feel like we have such, like, a TikTok brain now that people want you to, like, speak very fast and do everything very fast, and it's like and I am such a yapper, like, I talk so much, I'm Colombian, like, I can't, right? Like, I'm so Colombian, I use my hands a lot, go round in circles on the same thing I've already said a million times, like, so I see those same issues, in my YouTube video, which I don't see in public speaking because I just genuinely know when I'm constrained by a time and by a presentation, I can go in like a very strong flow. So I felt like I haven't found my flow in those YouTube videos. And people like my YouTube videos. I'm not gonna tell you that all of it is hate, like,
There
or
is
else I wouldn't
value.
have good numbers.
Yeah.
It's good, right? Like, there's something good about it. That's why people watch it and people, like, always talk about my videos. But as a perfectionist that I am, like, I do feel there's something missing from my delivery, my script writing, and all of that. So that's my main goal right now. And I think hate is always good. Like,
It's
hate
creating
tells you
engagement, right? It's creating engagement, first
yeah.
of all.
And I think hate yeah, also that. But I think, but I think also, like, hate is not nice, right? People are really rude sometimes, but sometimes there's a truth behind everything, right? And instead of grabbing it, like, so personal, when I'm saying I'm not perfect, sometimes I'll be like what an idiot. Why'd you say that to me? But, like, sometimes what you have to just do is be like, "Okay, is there some truth behind this hate?" Maybe the way this person said it was a bit too rude, but, like, is there some truth? I found something, for example, um I have a phrase that I say a lot just naturally, like, and it's like, "And honestly," like, I say that a lot, and apparently it's an AI word now, like, apparently now AI says it a lot, so people think it's AI, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck, now I can't say 'and honestly.'" Um, or certain things of, like, maybe I'm speaking too slow and I need to try to, like, speed it up, see if I can do the script better, or maybe I just go unscripted and I don't use
I
a script
remember
anymore.
your first video and video that you put recently, like there is a huge improvement. Maybe you don't see it. Like I see definitely improvement in your, you know, pacing, in the way you talk, also the topics itself, like they are interesting topics. And actually one of your YouTube videos got viral as well. I think you're in a good track. Like the YouTube is hardest channel, I have to say, like for me as well. You know, but the thing is like even though like for my channel, I know we sign a lot of clients, even though we get like literally 100 or 200 views, like, but we still sign a lot of clients from YouTube too, which is like our trust engine. So lots of people also who are watching this, you know, like don't pay attention to views because your goal is not necessarily go viral with YouTube. Your goal is somebody enters your world, what will they find? Yeah, if they find nothing, they will just think you are nothing, right? If they find
Yeah.
something useful about you, they will think, oh, I should work with that person because this person had 10 podcasts with other people. This person had already breakdowns in the videos, right? These all things are creating also the trust as well. And I think you are in a very good track and you should definitely keep doing that. And really excited to see the next ones. So and one last point, anything that you want to give like a recommendation for people? And one more important thing is like if somebody wants to work with you, I know you have also school community. We're gonna add it into the description so that people can know a little bit more. But if you can give also a little bit of background on that, would be really nice.
Yeah, of course. So, 2 ways you can work with me. One is through my agency. So, our agency is a complete done for you service for those 3 channels: LinkedIn, YouTube, and newsletters. Basically, what that means is you get kind of like a whole content team connected into your brand, your personal brand, which is like strategists, writers, designers, video editors, absolutely everything you would need to grow on either of those 3 channels, and we manage it from A to Z. All the things I've said, we do. If you don't want to have an agency to outsource it to, budget-wise or just genuinely just don't want to, you can work with me through my community. So I have a school community. It's a monthly community, a paid monthly community where we have a full boot camp there. So 4 weeks going very in depth of all these things that we've said. There, you can send your posts, and I'll go in and my team and the rest of the community members and roast your posts, tell you what you can do better. We have some pretty big people there and really like interesting people that you can also just like network with and kind of like if you're trying to grow on through LinkedIn, which is our main focus right now, the LinkedIn engine, or just like newsletters on YouTube as well, anything that has to do with content, it's fun to actually like do it with other people that are trying to grow and have someone expert kind of like guide you through the way. So that's the reason behind the community. And those are the 2 ways.
Yeah, that's very valuable actually. Yeah, like, you know, especially the done for you for busy people, but for people who want to actually learn, the school community is great. So we're gonna put that those links also in the description. But people can reach you also on the LinkedIn. You are very active, right, Deandra? Or any
Yeah.
other channels that
Yeah,
people
on
can
LinkedIn.
personally talk to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, DMs on LinkedIn are a bit insane, so I can't promise I will answer always. I always try to as much as I can. But yeah, definitely try to reach me out on LinkedIn, and I hope my
Yeah.
inbox isn't crazy and
Or
I'll
join
answer.
school community and then you have the school conversations, right? Right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Deandra. It was really valuable, a lot of good insights, and looking forward to our next conversations. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.